Today there is a Honda, it doesn't say it, but it's a GCV 160 quadro cut system. It has a choke, manual choke, right there. And problem is it only starts on choke. Well, excuse me, it only starts starting fluid. Gas is on. There is oil. I checked that when I first got it. There is gas. Could be newer. This is everything. Definitely spider haven in there. That's disgusting. So now we're going to take it off, take a look at the carb, but this is a little bit different because it does have a choke, like a lever. So let's put you up and we'll get started. 10mm. So this is going to be on a Honda, but this is basically the same for any engine, well, lawnmower engine, or pressure washer, anything that's small engine related. Potentially even car engines, but they would have to be pretty old. Because not many have a carburetor. At least I'd hope not. When that happens, I just pull back on it and let the impact wheel it out. Sometimes crap and just nonsense gets stuck in there and makes it hard. Oh boy. So there's a whole lot of stuff in here. First things first, let's see if the choke even makes it choke. It does. Okay. So probably should have checked that before we took the bolts out, but if it only went part way, I would put the bolts back in and we would do this again. But it does close it, so we know that's not a problem. Sometimes this linkage could be bent. Sometimes this is just not, this cable is not put in the proper location, so it's not able to actually engage the choke at all. So onward and forward. That looks a lot scarier than it really is, trust me. Take the choke off. This is just in a farm. I'm going to take off the fuel line and take off the choke, and I'll meet you over the carb station or the throttle. One thing to mention, make sure your fuel's off. So I got the clip off. Take the fuel line, probably will drip a little, that's fine. Okay, now we'll go to the carb station. That's what's in the tank. Wouldn't surprise me if it is. And I think we know our problem. See that little, I don't know, jelly? that usually tells me that like stable or other fuel stabilizers were used. So I'm sure there's people who think that they're great. Don't get me wrong, they probably work great. But in my experience, the only thing you're doing is you're giving yourself maybe an extra month or two. After that, you get jelly with fuel stabilizers. Best thing to do, just run it dry if you don't use non-ethanol or can't use non-ethanol. You see that? It's pretty nasty. Actually, I don't want to put that in there. Now the emulsion tube is like stuck. There we go. One of these little picks, the angle is one of the best tools for this type of thing. Or a Allen wrench, also works pretty good. This one's pretty solid in there though. We might clean it with in there and then we'll take it out when it comes out of the cleaner and clean it again. So right now I'm going to rinse this off with water very, very thoroughly. Actually, no, not yet. Let's take this off. This next part, arguably in my opinion, is one of the most important part. Well, it's like the most important part. If your main is plugged, then you're not going to get anything. But if this is plugged, you're going to get surging. This is the idle. We're going to take that off, or that out, and we're going to cut this little slot or piece off because it's going to prevent us from taking this whole thing out. And it was pretty much crusted on place. I'm going to take a Dremel after I rinse it off thoroughly with water, get all the gasoline off of it. I'm going to take a Dremel and cut this with a cut wheel. Now, this shouldn't spark, but if you hit anything else like this, or even the spring, I think might, I don't remember, that can spark. So be careful, you are working with a carburetor which has gasoline on it. So I'm going to take this out, put this whole thing in the carb cleaner, and then go back. I was able to get this out. All the holes seem to be clear. Yeah, they're clear. Cleaned it out, blew this out, cleaned it out again. It's fine. Now, I'm going to put it together. This is pretty straightforward, but there is a couple things I would want to go over. This should be straightforward. There we go. Started to cross thread a little bit. Don't want to do that. That's for sure. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to clean this out a little more. Make sure there's nothing on the float. I want this to be clean. Well, as clean as possible. Speck right there. There we go. And right here. Perfect. There we are. You don't want anything like that white powdery stuff on the end of your bolt here, because that could just fly off into the jet, and who knows, maybe that was half the problem to begin with. So this is the part that's a little bit different. When I blow this out, I usually will put my finger over this, blow through here, then I'll take my air compressor, blow through here, put my finger over this one just to make sure. But I don't know if you can tell, there's a little brass piece in there. It has a little hole. Take like a wire from a wire brush or something, make sure the hole is clear. It will look like it is sometimes, but just because it does look like it doesn't mean you shouldn't try. This one will clean. Put a wire bristle through it, and I had a little bit of resistance, and then it went through. So it was a little plugged. It's just one of those things that you assume won't be a problem, but then you'll be scratching your head on why it's surging. I don't know about you, but I would rather not have to scratch my head. It doesn't sound pleasant. Okay. Dry this off a little better. So this is what I was talking about. Cut that off. The factory will not have that on there when they insert it, and then later they'll press on this little piece, and that piece is to stop you from adjusting it. And when I cut it off, counted the turns, it's a little under 1 out. I'm gonna do 1.5 because they tune these pretty lean, and while I totally understand emissions, that's a good thing to have good emissions. When you run it lean, you run it hot, it can also cause even worse emissions than, you know, if you were running it at an appropriate level. So now that we're back, this is what came out. It wasn't really the worst, but it's definitely not good. It doesn't have water in it, so that's good. Looking at the bright side here, but that can cause problems. Not looking at the bright side, but, well, I suppose even that could cause problems. Currently, there is no fuel in here. Oil's good. Like I said, looks clean. Not too concerned over that. This is the gasket for that side. We have this gasket, and we have this spacer. Trying to remember. Okay, here we go. So now it goes on like so. So that's fine. We need our screws. Now, this is, oops. This is the part that's going to be hard to see. So let's get these ready. Now, we need to do the choke first. Putting this Honda together must be a real, just complete joy at the factory. One of those things you just look forward to every day going to work. Man. Spring in the Northwest. Of course, they probably have some type of jig or something to make this easier than what I have. At least I'd hope so. It is a lot easier when I don't have to worry about having other people see, of course. So now, this goes on like so. This goes on like so. What are we getting held up on here? Oh, the throttle cable was underneath. It was getting caught underneath the handle. Don't want to tighten that all the way because this next part will be basically impossible. I need to put this piece in first, all the way. And then this is a good time to check the choke. It does not appear we have it in the right slot. I'm going to put it in the right slot. Now, we're going to put it on that one instead. And hopefully, that'll be the end of our problems. I swear I do not live on 8 Mile, but there's usually a train noise in the background, I'm aware. Judging by my YouTube statistics, the few people that do watch me, I don't think will actually understand that reference. Put a comment there if you do. Okay, now let's check the choke. And it's good. Here, I'll show you what that works too. So there's a little lever here. That's low throttle. That's max throttle. You can't see it, can you? That's choke. See how it turns on? That little piece. I get it, huh? But that's full throttle, no choke. Choke is open. Start it. You just push it back. So on. Okay, I put some gas in this. I put a new plug in there. I'm gonna put a new filter, and we'll give it a pull. Fuel, plug, air filter, oil's clean and full. This does have a blade cut, so we're gonna give that a try too. But for the most part, I think we should be pretty much set. Let's give it a pull. Oh, it's not leaking either. Would you believe it? As soon as I turn you off, I went to go pull it again to see what's going on, and it started right up. I just don't think the bowl was very full. Well, the clutch seems to work. Self-propel, for the most part, seems like it's working fine. I still need to test it out. The wheels move, so that's fine. Sometimes they move and they have no power, though, so if that does happen, we'll have another video. I can guarantee that. Other than that, I think we're good. I'm gonna give it one more pull. First I'm gonna try it with no choke, and I'm gonna try it with choke, see what happens. And then if it works, I think we're gonna let you go. Yeah, that should be okay. I was kind of getting worried why it wouldn't idle very low, but then I remembered that these don't really get very low. I suppose we can try. Let's go give it a try. I think the idle screw is visible. Or maybe it's not. Well, I put it back where it originally came from, so I'm not gonna be too worried about that. Well, I think that should be about it. If your lawnmower only starts with starting fluid or gas thrown down the plug hole or whatever you do, this good old cleanup seems to work out pretty good. So basically you're just have a little sludge, little piece. You're probably not blocked. Maybe you have water. There's a couple things. But a good bowl cleaning and jet cleaning is what you need. Okay, if this helped you, leave a comment below. Definitely like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good day.